I have my 3 W's of trading, which is the what to do, where to do it, and the when to do it. In our previous video on market structure and trends, we tackled on the what to do, and in this particular video, I'm going to tackle on the where to do it. Where do we buy or sell in the market? Let's find out soon in this video, and make sure you watch to the end because the foundation of your Forex journey relies on some of these key principles I'm about to discuss with you. So without further ado, let's dive straight into today's video. We have learned in our previous video introduction to technical analysis about market structure and trends, where we have the uptrend, the downtrend, and the ranging market. Now, as I mentioned, these structures help us to know what to do in the market, whether we should be positioning ourselves for a buying opportunity or we should be positioning ourselves for a selling opportunity in the market. But then if you're positioning ourselves for a buying or a selling opportunity in the market, where exactly do we have to start looking for these buying or selling opportunities? Market structure simply helps you as a trader to decide what to do in the market at any given time, whether you should start looking for buying opportunities or you should start looking for selling opportunities. But this doesn't tell you where exactly to look for these opportunities. Rather, knowing some key areas of value in the market can help you decide whether to buy or whether to sell at any point in time. It helps you decide and also answer the question, where do I buy? Where do I sell? Where do I start looking for trading opportunities in this market? Now, this is where we have to adopt certain tools that are going to help us decide where to buy or sell in the market. And one of such tools I'm going to be talking about today is known as support and resistance levels. There are numerous ways to decide where to buy or sell in this market, but support and resistance, also known as SR or SNR, is one of such tools that I find the most easiest and probably the most simplest to understand to help you to find specific areas on the chart, which is going to help you to decide where to buy or where to sell. Now, what do we mean when we say a support or a resistance in trading? Now, a support is an area in the market where buying pressure could potentially step in and act as a point of reversal for the market, meaning that areas on the chart where markets could potentially push up or where the bulls could step in. Now, when I say bulls, I mean buyers. Now, the opposite of this is known as the resistance, and the resistance is an area on the chart where selling pressure could potentially step in, or a place where the bears or the sellers could bring some selling pressure into the market. Now, in support and resistance, there's a principle that you should always remember. Know that it's not every time that price could potentially buy from a support, and it's also not every time that price could potentially sell from a resistance. There are points where price could potentially break out of this support or resistance zone because, like I mentioned, it's not every time that you expect that price could potentially buy from a support, and it's also not every time that price could potentially sell from a resistance. There are points where market breaks out of any of these zones and then cause them to become new reversal points for the market. So we have a principle in trading which says that when a support is broken, it could potentially become a resistance, and when a resistance is broken, it could potentially become a support for a reversal point in the market. So when a support breaks, price eventually comes to retest that broken support and acts as a new reversal point for buying pressure to come into the market. Same thing for the resistance. When the resistance is broken, price eventually comes to retest that broken resistance and act as a support or a new reversal point for new buying pressure to come into the market. Now, this is something we call break and retest comes into the picture. When a support is broken, that support acts as a new resistance level which could potentially bring selling pressure into the market. And same thing for the resistance. When the resistance zone is broken, price comes to retest that resistance and act as a support to be a new reversal point for the market. Okay guys, so I want to illustrate how the support and resistance looks like on a real chart for you. Now, remember when I said support is an area where buying pressure could potentially step into the market. So let's take an example. You have price bouncing off from this area. It gets to this zone, there's a resistance. Comes back to this area, there's a bounce up. Comes back to this zone, there's a resistance. So that's simply what support and resistance is. So usually the support is termed as a floor, and the resistance is termed as a roof. So this point right here will be our roof. So basically, we are talking about this zone being the support zone, this area right here, and this area right here being our resistance zone, which is the roof where price gets to and then has to drop. All right, so I want to illustrate how this looks like on a real chart for you to understand. So let's take this chart for example. You see, whenever price gets to this zone, this whole area, let me use a line tool to draw it so you can see it well. When price gets to this whole area, you realize there's always a push down. It gets to this zone, there's a push down, gets to this zone, there's a push down, gets to this zone, there's a push down, gets to this zone. So immediately we can term this area as a resistance zone because price fails to push up more when it gets to that zone. So this area becomes a resistance zone. Now let's find the support zone here, and I mentioned the support is an area where buying pressure could potentially step in. We've noticed that from this zone, whenever price gets there, there's a selling pressure coming in. Whenever price gets there, price drops. When it gets there, we have price coming down. When it gets there, we have price coming down. You can see from all of this here, price coming down. So then the support is the place where price bounces up or buying pressure steps in. So you can see right from this zone, when price came here, there was a push up. When price came here, just close to this zone. Now, one thing you have to notice is that the support is not always a particular level. It's an area. So we can take this whole area as the support. We can take this whole area because whenever price gets to this area, there's a buying pressure that comes in. So we can turn this area as the support zone. Let me change this right here. Because whenever price gets there, we have price coming here. There was a push up to this resistance zone. Price wasn't to push up anymore, and sellers came in with a selling pressure to push price down. Now we have price coming here again and price dropping. We have price coming towards this area, price dropping again. We have price coming towards this area, price dropping again. Same here until we came back to retest the support once again. Now what happens when price retested the support? There's another push up. You can see all the way from here. It started from here, and then price has gradually pushed up from this support zone. So that's how we use support and resistance on the chart. So we know that when price gets here, I have to be looking for buying opportunities. When price gets to this resistance, I have to be looking for selling opportunities in this zone or at this particular price level. I hope that makes sense. Okay guys, so another example to illustrate how the break and retest also looks like for opportunities in the market. Remember I said when price breaks out of a resistance, it could potentially become a support for new buying pressure to come in, and when price breaks out of a support, it could become a resistance for selling pressure to potentially come into the market. So I'm coming to draw a support zone here, and I want you to see how I draw this zone so you can draw it on your own on your chart also. So come to this right here where it says brushes. You come to rectangle under shapes, you come to rectangle and you take this rectangle tool and then draw your support zone. Wherever you see price bouncing up from becomes your support. So let's draw a support zone here, because we see when price enters this zone, there's a push up. When price comes back into this same area where this price bought from, there's another push up right. We can see some bullish movements right here. Now let's see what happens when price breaks out of this zone. We have price breaking out of this zone all the way to the downside, and currently what we are seeing is price retesting this zone again, which means here was our support, here right here was our support, here was our support, and after the breakout, which was right here, here was a breakout. Breakout. Now when we had a breakout right here, this candle breaking through it, now price is currently retesting this zone again. You realize that this zone now becomes a new selling zone or a new resistance zone for price to potentially drop from there. So that's how the support and resistance work. So we have the support being broken here with this big candle, and currently price is retesting the support zones, which has now become a potential resistance zone for selling pressure to come in. So now you realize that whenever price comes back into the support zone, it's not able to push up. When it comes back, it's not able to push up. It's not able to push up so much, and currently we see price coming all the way down, bringing some selling pressure into the market. So that's how the break and retest is. There's a breakout right here, and currently market is retesting the then support zone, which has now become resistance for a potential selling pressure into the market. I hope that makes sense. Now let's take another example of a resistance being broken and that resistance becoming a support or a buying zone for new buying pressure to come into the market. Okay guys, so another example of how the break and retest looks like on this chart. So this is the GBP JPY chart, the pound and Japanese yen chart, and I'm going to show you how a resistance becomes a new area for support once price breaks out of that resistance. So in this chart, we can see right here, we have a support zone here because we have price coming here 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we have price pushing up. Meaning here's a very strong support for a buy. So if I were trading this, I would wait for a buy in this same zone again. So we draw a support zone right here. And we have our resistance zone also right here. Because you have price coming into this area, there's a rejection. You have price coming into this area, there's a rejection. You have price coming into this area, and also the sellers were still trying to push price down until price came all the way back to the support. Now what happens when price came back into this same support that it bought from for the second time? There was a breakout of this resistance, which means there was a big buying pressure that came into the market to break this resistance. Now remember I mentioned when a resistance is broken, it could potentially become a support zone. So let's just write our resistance and support zones down so we will all follow what I'm doing. So this is our support. And this area becomes our resistance. Okay. We have price breaking all the way to the upside, and currently we have price coming back into this same resistance zone. Now when I extend it, you see this place becomes a new support. This place becomes a new support for new buying pressure to come into the market. So let's indicate here as our new support, because we have a breakout right here, we had a breakout here, and here becomes a new support zone. New support. Here becomes a new support for us to be waiting for a potential buying opportunity from this zone. So we had a breakout, a retest, and then currently we see markets going all the way up. So once again, we'll keep our support zone drawn just in case market comes into this zone. We will look for the next reaction. Either we are going to buy again, or once it breaks it, we'll be looking for selling opportunities. I hope that makes sense. So let me just go over everything so you understand whatever is happening here. So we have price coming here and the buying pressure coming in. Price coming back into this same zone again. We have a buying pressure to this resistance. Price is not able to break through. Price comes down here to this support, and there was another buying pressure in. Now what do we see here? We see price breaking out of this resistance. And remember I said when the resistance is broken, it becomes a new support or a new area for potential buying opportunities to come into the market. So if you are taking a trade, you don't take a trade at a breakout, you wait for a retest, which is this right here, price coming back into this zone to act as a new support for us for potential buying opportunities in the market. And what do we see when price came back here? We saw price coming all the way up here, new buying opportunities, new buying pressure coming all the way into this market. And now we can currently see price shooting all the way up here. So you just keep this zone, this new support zone, just keep it and then see what happens when price gets there again. Do we have a new buying opportunity, or do we have price breaking out to give us a new selling opportunity in the market? So this is how basically support and resistance work. I hope everything makes sense. So that's everything that you need to understand about support and resistance. Always remember your break and retest, remember your support zones, and remember your resistance zone. So when you're trading support and resistance, always make sure you buy from support and then you sell from resistance. And when the resistance is broken, you buy from the broken resistance, which becomes your new support, and when your support is broken, you sell from the broken support, which becomes your new resistance. I hope everything makes sense. Now know that in trading, nothing is 100% certain. We only speculate and predict, hoping that market will respect some of these levels. And sometimes if you stick to some of these principles, you may have a good win rate overall. And what matters is that you have a very good win rate and consistently you are being profitable. Now I believe you understand what market structure is, you understand what an uptrend market is, what a downtrend market is, what is a ranging market, what is support, what is resistance, and the principles of the break and retest strategy. So all of these come together to help us make a very good trading decision in the market, where market structure help us know what to do. Should we be looking for buying or selling opportunities? After we establish that, then we come to where to do it. Where do we sell or where do we buy? If it's in an uptrend, where do we buy? If it's in a downtrend, where do we sell from? That is where support and resistance comes into the picture to assist us to know where we should buy and then where we should sell from. Now that we understand this, the last most important thing is at what point do we click buy or sell, which answers the question, when do we do it? We use what we call candlesticks for our entry confirmation and triggers to help us know when to click that buy or sell button we see on our MetaTrader app. We don't just buy because price has gotten to a support or sell because price has gotten to a resistance. We have certain confirmations we wait for, and we use the candlesticks for these confirmations to enter a trade or execute a trade that we have. So just because market has gotten to a support doesn't mean that hurriedly you have to click that buy button on your MetaTrader app. Or because you see market has gotten to a resistance doesn't mean that hurriedly you're going to execute a trade for a sale. We have certain entry confirmations that we use on candlesticks which help us know that, okay, this trade is ready for a buy or it's ready for a sell. and we go ahead to click it in our MetaTrader app. And in our next video, I'll be teaching you on the basic candlestick patterns and confirmations that every beginner should know. Now, these candlestick patterns and confirmations have changed my trading life tremendously, and I believe that our next video is going to help you to be very profitable and also change your trading journey. I believe this next video is going to change your life tremendously because you're going to learn about the confirmations that you need to help you click that buy or sell button you see on your MetaTrader app. Now come ready and prepared for the next video, and also let me know in the comment section if my teachings over these past weeks have given you some light and clear direction in this thing we call Forex. Now guys, I need just one favor from you. If you love the content I share and the priceless information that I share here, do want to smash that subscribe button for me and also like this video so YouTube can recommend it to many people who want to learn about Forex trading. Also share this video to family and friends and let them know that there's someone that's willing to teach them Forex trading on her YouTube channel from scratch, and they'll become a profitable trader if they follow my teachings from the beginning. I believe in quality over quantity, and that's why I take my time to illustrate and give you the simplest by the finest information on each topic that I come to post here. So help us share this video and help us grow on this channel. Also follow me on Instagram and on TikTok at @abatrace, and do well to join my Telegram community where I share signals on a day-to-day basis for people to make money for free. Also a reminder on my exclusive and premium mentorship, which is beginning on the 6th of April, to personally mentor and coach people who want extra understanding and life hands-on experience with me on a day-to-day basis in Forex. I'm also going to be sharing my experience with these mentees to guide them on avoiding some better mistakes I made when I started off in Forex trading and what made me a profitable trader overall. And that's all for this week, guys. It's Abatrace right here, and as you already know, peace out.